Well, what a ride. This is day 20. This is the last day of my 20-day fast. Um, I just wanted to put it out there um, to help people. I have friends and family who struggle with health issues, and drugs are the main means they have for keeping the symptoms in check and reducing the suffering as much as possible. Um, every time I've done a fast before, and the longest I've done is 28 days, of which I've done about 3 or 4 fasts in the past, the objective has always been psychological. And I stress, so I'm going to say this time it was slightly different because just so you know, it's January the 25th, no, sorry, January the 24th, 2019. I've just finished 28-day fast. In December, the beginning of December, I was diagnosed with type 2 diabetes, which wasn't surprising to me at all. I was eating whatever I wanted, whenever I wanted. A lot of meat, some vegetables. Well, actually very little vegetables. A lot of meat. I had converted to vegetarianism about a month or so earlier, but to get to my then weight, I'd been eating pretty much whatever I wanted, whenever I wanted, for about 2 years. But I've got to tell you that I'm still eating whatever I want, whenever I want. I'm still on that same diet. It's just now that I have type 2 diabetes, I don't want to eat the same food anymore. The desire to eat different food is really important. Now, this is really important from the psychological perspective, because before I go into the health benefits, which were astounding, when I had the my appointment at the doctor's for the checkup of my blood sugars and everything, to see how I was progressing and to see if things got worse, I almost floated out of the practice because the results were so fantastic. And I'll tell you what the results are in a moment. But before I do, I just want to talk about the psychological side. I haven't stopped anything I'm doing. I teach music. I have quite a busy schedule. Today my schedule is very, very busy. I start off doing 3 or 4 hours with a centre for the mentally and physically handicapped, doing music with them. We're writing an album, getting them all to contribute. And then I have my normal hourly sessions at our studios. That goes on, and then after that I got meetings. Quite a hectic day, quite a hectic schedule. However, I haven't given up. I haven't stopped anything I was doing. I just carried on as normal, and my energy levels just went up. My belief, I'm going to take that because I don't really believe this. I reason this based on the data and stuff I hold. It's not a belief at all. So I reason that a lot of the problems people have with weight loss is physiological, but I'd say the most important part, however, is psychological. People would lose weight if it wasn't for the way their brains worked, if it wasn't for the way they thought. So each time I've done these fasts in the past, it was to show people that, or show myself, that somebody who's morbidly obese and whose eating habits were pretty extreme and have been. I started putting on weight when I was about 16 or 17, and it's been an issue throughout my adult life. Someone whose lifetime habit is that of overeating could arrest it just by the power of the mind. And that's what I want to do. But it's not willpower and it's not effort. I call it battle. Battle is when you want to do something, you know you should do something, but something makes it really, really hard. You battle, and sometimes you win, but often you lose. Well, the expression I like to use is no battle. I want my brain to just choose the right thing and do it. And it's easy rather than choose the right thing and then struggle to do it. That's not my idea of fun. So that's what I've been doing with these fasts. This 20 days, I'm going to tell you now, has been extremely easy. So easy. And not because of anything to do with my body, but to do with my mind. Things that we find difficult. Most parents know this with kids. Kids say, oh, I can't. And the parents know that the child, their offspring can. And they could, but they know they're making it hard for themselves. In fact, my son's name is Easy for exactly this reason. I wanted him, your name is psychological trigger or stimulus. Probably the strongest one you'll ever have in your life. You hear it all the time. If you're at a party and you hear your name, even if deep in conversation, your ears prick up. Your name is a massive psychological trigger, and unlike a lot of you who weren't aware of this, you choose your name because it sounds good. Shall we call him Philip? This sort of stuff. I didn't. I chose my son's name for psychological reasons. I wanted him to have a trigger. So going back to my point is that people make things harder than they are, and they don't even know they're doing it. So I named my son Easy, so that he would always be aware of an easy way and the hard way. And the person who makes it hard will often be himself. So I think if you talk to him now, I think he'd say he'd appreciate the fact that I named him that. Even though a lot of parents said, oh, you can't call him that. People would tease him at school. He seems to have done extremely well on it. So, psychological. I want to make that the emphasis, and I'll do further videos about that, how to get rid of the battle. So it's not I didn't walk past cake shops and go, oh, I want a cake. Oh, I've got to force myself. No, I must have strong willpower. I just didn't even want the cake. In fact, one thing I've done on this fast, which is far better than my other fasts, and I really enjoy it, is smell. I smell and I feel exactly the same. I don't mean I stink. I mean I use my nose and smell items. And when something smells good, rather than triggering a desire to eat, I would just enjoy the smell. And after smelling it deeply and taking it in, I felt the same after that as I feel after I've eaten food or after I've had a meal. The smell is glorious. And whenever smells of food came my way that smelled nice, instead of saying, oh no, that makes me want to eat, I just took it in and took it like it was a meal, and it was fantastic. Anyway, that goes back to no battle. Now let's go on to the health stuff, because the health stuff is interesting. So here we are. This is the little chart I've knocked up. 2nd of January, 19 stone 3. I should really convert that for people. Maybe I'll do that later, but I just want to get this video out really quickly. So 19 stone 3. Here's my weight loss over the period. Works like this. On day 1, I lost 1 pound. Total weight loss 1 pound. Day 2, I lost 7 pounds, taking my total weight loss to 8. Okay, that just means that water, really, you lose a lot of water in the first couple of days. So very dramatic weight loss over the first couple of days. 7, 4, 3, 2, and then it started slowing down, as you can see. Most days losing 2, 1, and some days, actually I lost every day. It's just I had to round things off. Total weight loss oh gosh, I haven't weighed myself today. So I don't know my total weight loss, but yesterday, total weight loss was 36 pounds. I'll weigh myself in a moment to find out what my total weight loss has been over the period. But here's my blood pressure, 161/93. Now at this stage, my blood sugar levels was 13. It was 13 point something, and I immediately was diagnosed as type 2 diabetic and given medication, none of which I've taken. I've taken no medication at all. The only thing I've had is my son's girlfriend came across some multivitamin spray that you could get, so I've been having 4 squirts of that a day, and water. So I started the fast here, gone through my blood pressure has gone from 161/93, and today when I took it, it was 80 something. I can't remember. I'm not very prepared for this video. I just thought it's the last day and I've got a really busy day ahead. This is the only opportunity I've got to shoot it, so I'm shooting it quickly, and I forgot to weigh myself, but I'll do that in a moment. So at this stage, today it was 80, something like 89/72, I think. So blood pressure right down. Yesterday I took my blood sugar readings. It was here a week ago. I had it taken at the doctor's and it was 6. So from 13 down to 6, and then I took it today and it was 5 point. I took it yesterday. Sorry, it was 5.3. Anyway, that's my record of stuff I was doing. So it's to me, the health side is absolutely wonderful. Of course, I can't stop now. What I've done in the past is, because it was psychological, I'd do the fast, and then I'd go back onto my eat whatever you want diet, and I would enjoy that. And I really do enjoy food. But this time I'm changing. This time, because I don't want to have type 2 diabetes again. I don't want to have numbness in my right leg. I mean, that's what triggered me off to go and get the blood test. I had extreme pain in my right hip, and I lay down for an hour trying to alleviate the pain, and it wouldn't go. It persisted for a whole hour. Then when I got up, I fell over. If I hadn't grabbed something, I would have fallen to the ground. And my right leg had just turned into a lump of meat. It was just dead, and it stayed like that. And it was after a day where, I mean, I say it stayed like that. It got a little bit better, good enough to walk, but constant tingling all through my leg, and it felt pretty much like a dead lump of meat that I had to swing around, and my walking had to be adjusted so I wouldn't fall over to my right. It was my right leg. So that's why I went to the doctors. They had the blood tests and stuff, and that's when I found out I was diabetic. However, today I'm not diabetic, and if I don't want to go back to being diabetic, I need to do something about it. I just looked at the time. This is coming up to 40 minutes. I wanted to keep it under 15, so I'm going to wind up now. Obviously, I'm not going to go back to that. I say we'll see. I'll shoot future videos. If I do go back to my normal diet, it won't be physiological. It would be psychological, and this is so important. Anybody watching this video, I would love to support you psychologically, and I'd love to share my data and information and things I've learned about how to use your mind to create no battle, and to enjoy whatever it is that you think might be hard or difficult. Instead of instigating willpower, it's almost like the opposite of willpower. I don't need willpower to brush my hair in the morning. I don't need willpower to go to the toilet. These are things that I just do, and it feels natural and it feels right. And that's how I want to approach my diet. So just for those, I'm going plant-based. In the last 20 days, I've done an awful lot of research. I think that you can lose weight really, really well with this high protein, or meat basically, low carb and all that sort of stuff. But I don't think our bodies were meant to do it. It's almost as if our bodies are allergic to meat. If you look although you can lose weight, if you look at the things that meat does to your arteries and your arteries, not arteries, arteries in your cells, I think that, like me, you'd probably want to avoid meat. If someone put a cow in a field and said, there you go, tuck in, mate. And I run over and I tack it with these nails and these teeth and I rip it apart and get all my protein from that. And right next to it is fruit, veg. Am I going to rip the cow apart with these? No. Without fire and without tools and stuff, a cow is pretty unappetizing, or a horse, or a deer, or a rabbit. Even fish are unappetizing. But the things that we're using to flavor the meat and to make it more appetizing, those are the things I'm going to be eating. So I'm going to what they call a plant-based diet, and we'll see how it goes. I mean, the research I've done shows a lot of people are able to reverse diabetes and other chronic illnesses by just going on a plant-based diet and without having to do anything as extreme as water only fast like I did. But anyway, I've run out of time, so I'm going to close up. I just want to tell you, 20 days, it was effortless. It was really easy. I loved the smell of food. It was like eating for me. Now it's over. I say now it's over. This is the last day, day 20. It finishes at midnight. I'm going to be going on to the healthiest diet that my research has disclosed, but I'm willing to discuss this with anyone. I'm going to keep the comments open for people to say whatever they want. But psychological, this is the bit that I think is the most important thing of all. If all diets seem to work. This is the opposite of what most people say. Most people say, no, diets don't work. Every diet works. You lose weight on every diet. The thing that fails you is this. Oh, I did that diet. Yeah, I lost 10 pounds in 3 weeks or whatever it was, but I just couldn't stick to it. That isn't the diet's fault. All diets work, otherwise they wouldn't put them out there. Everybody loses weight on every diet. The problem isn't the diet. And you're looking at a man who's probably tried over 50 different diets in his lifetime. And like I say, every single one of them worked. They work until you stop. So the reason you stop is here. Don't blame the diets. Rejai, Rejai, Rejai. Wish you love.